Take your cell phones, please.
And mine would be likely one to go off, too.
You're important, too.
All right, we all ready? Okay. Good morning. My name is Sheriff Ron Hickman, and we're here this morning to discuss a aggravated sexual assault case and some of the excellent work by some of our personnel. On Sunday, we learned that a 15-year-old complainant interacted over the internet with two individuals who convinced her that they were music producers and wanted to meet with her. The individuals are on an application called meetme.com and KIK, which are social media applications that allow direct messaging and chatting. They don't show up as minutes used on your service plans, so it's difficult for parents to track their usage. The complainant left her own hometown and met with two suspects who then took her to a mobile trailer in northeast Harris County and then sexually assaulted her multiple times. The suspect allowed her to make a phone call, and the Harris County Sheriff's Office was notified and began their investigation. The deputy staged at the location where the suspects were going to drop her off and were able to take the victim into custody and determined the identity of both suspects and subsequently arrested both of them. The suspects are identified as 25-year-old Francisco Brelan Anavisca, DOB 10/7 of 1991, and 24-year-old Pedro Lopez, date of birth the 11/18 of 1991. Both subjects are documented gang members, one MS-13 and one Houston. The defendants was subsequently charged with 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child and 1 count of sexual assault of a child. Suspect Francisco Anavisca has already an outstanding warrant for sexual assault out of Deer Park, Texas. He has also a lengthy criminal history, including multiple charges for sexual assault, escape, evading and interference, robbery, assault, possession of controlled substance, and unauthorized use of motor vehicle, amongst others. Suspect Pedro Lopez is also a convicted felon, charged with aggravated robbery. He's been in Texas prison and has been twice deported. Both suspects are, as I mentioned, documented gang members. Thanks to the smart decisions made by our juvenile complainant, who had outstanding presence of mind, and the subsequent response by our personnel, we were able to take 2 clearly violent sexual predators and assailants off the streets of Harris County. I will take any questions you might have, but I want to first point out that this is an excellent example of the level of work the Harris County Sheriff's Office is capable of, and clearly this could have been a very tragic situation. Most importantly, though, it underscores the need for parents to have that dialogue with their children about contact on the internet. The person and the motive behind that contact should always be suspect. And clearly, in a situation where it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Most adults know this. Unfortunately, most children do not. So, any questions? Yes, sir.
So, when the suspects allowed her to make a phone call, she called 911?
I believe she called a friend who then notified us.
Do you understand why they would allow her to make a phone call?
I do not know the details of that, nor why they would allow her to reach out. But I believe she was able to reach out to one of her friends, and it may have been on a messaging app that the two were able to contact. But they notified us, and our personnel went to work immediately.
And where is she from?
She's from Northeast Texas.
Where are the suspects from?
One of them, obviously born in Mexico. The other was born here in Texas.
And he was previously deported. Do you know on what charges?
He was previously deported on an aggravated robbery charge.
And do you know when that was?
I believe it may have been 08 or 09 or shortly after that, but I'm sure we can get you details on that.
Was there any indication in the correspondence she had online that there were kind of making sexual advances toward her, or really just occurred when she met them?
I believe that occurred after. The premise of the original contact was the young lady is an aspiring musician and songwriter, and so their dialogue came about in relative to that kind of subject matter. So our initial investigation doesn't reveal that there was a sexual undertone in that. I think that was the prelude to the meet.
So did she travel all the way here from North?
Actually, I think they went there to pick her up.
They went there to pick her up
Yes.
and brought her back here.
Right.
Sheriff, you've got some controversy in the past about the immigration program in the jail. Is this the kind of person that this program is designed for?
Well, actually, this is exactly the kind of person that program is designed to keep out. And certainly after they have committed this kind of violent act against one of our children, they actually exploited children from our area, they in fact should be deported.
Are they undocumented?
One of them is, yes. One of them is local born.
Which one's undocumented?
I'm sorry?
Which one
Which one is documented?
Yeah.
Francisco is local, and Pedro is undocumented. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Any questions for the investigators?
Were they arrested with any incident at all?
I believe they were arrested without incident. Obviously, there's a considerable amount of investigation going in. The first one was arrested within a couple of days, and then the second was arrested about 10 days later. So I can't tell you how proud we are of our team and how well they did in this case. Obviously, you easily recognize this thing could have gone south, and this young lady could have lost her life. But we're very proud of the work they have done and a very successful operation here. So kudos to these guys and the level of professionalism and good work they did in this case.
Are the investigators finding social media sites more as a tool, find it more often?
No, absolutely. You know, one of the things we have to take into consideration is our kids are connected. I mean, the digital world is where they live today. You know, unfortunately, most parents are not as efficient in how they use and live in the digital world. So the best thing we can do as parents is have that conversation with our kids so that when these things come up, that the kids feel comfortable having that dialogue with their parents.
Can you repeat the day of the assault and then the day that they were arrested?
I don't have the details on the actual date.
But just ballpark, just when it occurred?
When was the offense date?
The offense date was October 16th.
And they were arrested?
And the arrest date?
Francisco, excuse me, Francisco was arrested the 18th, 2 days later, and Pedro was taken into custody on the 27th of this month also.
So and again, to reiterate, these apps, it seems like we constantly are hearing about them. What would you caution parents?
Well, and we've always told parents that the most important thing you can do with your child is talk with them. And we have to realize that the digital world is constantly evolving. New tools come about every 90 days. There's a new app rolling out, and some of them are very difficult for older adults to use. You know, there are apps where the pictures disappear, like Snapchat. There are apps where your text disappears. There are apps that don't use the minutes from your service plan on your phone. There are all kinds of communication opportunities for kids, but you know, the most important thing is that communication you have with your child.
Sure, if someone can watch these pictures or the video, and if they have information in regards of these two people involved maybe in some more crimes, and there's a possibility of more victims.
Certainly, there's always a possibility of more. We want them to reach out to our office, and if you have someone that is a victim, then certainly let us know about it. You know, we anticipate that this may not be the first time they've done this. So if you have someone else that is a victim of these two or has been involved with these two, then we would certainly like to know about it.
Did they mention something that maybe they were involved in more situations like this?
I don't know the details of our interviews with them, but we would suspect just because of their behavior that would be likely that this is not their first time.
You have a number for them to call?
Yeah, what's your office number?
Matt, office number for child abuse, 713-830-3200.
830-3200. So if you know of someone or you need to contact us with additional information on these two suspects, that's the number to use.
Is there a bond set on them?
No bond.
Zero bond at the moment, yes.